These people stood next to Linda. They learned things from Linda, and they became famous because of Linda. But when they were the ones getting all the attention, they made Linda disappear. They made fun of the way Linda sounded. They took all the credit that belonged to Linda. For a time, Linda did not say anything. Until now. There are 7 people. 7 people who hurt Linda badly. Linda hates these 7 people. She promised herself that she would never say their names out loud again. Tonight we are going to find out who these 7 people are, and the truth is going to be really shocking. Number 1, Paul Simon, the partnership that ended very badly. When Paul stepped into studio with Linda Ronstadt, the whole thing was supposed to be really special. Linda Ronstadt and Paul had a huge problem within hours. It did not feel like Linda Ronstadt and Paul were singing together. It felt like Linda Ronstadt and Paul were fighting. Linda Ronstadt arrived at the studio feeling very excited because she thought she had finally found someone who understood what it means to be an artist. Paul showed up with a clipboard and a stopwatch, which was very strange. Every time Linda took a breath, every time she made a sound, he would find something. When Linda sang, with a lot of feeling, he would stop the tape away. He said, "You are singing many extra notes in a low voice." Linda tried again. He said, "You are being too dramatic." After hours, people who were there said that Linda's hands were shaking really badly. Linda was extremely angry with the music teacher. Every time Linda sang, he would criticize her. Every time she breathed, he would tell her what she was doing wrong with her singing. The project came to an end. Paul did not release anything from those sessions. For years, Linda would not even say his name. She said he was a person telling people what to do, not someone who worked together with her. After what happened that day, Linda lost trust in singing with people. She preferred to be by herself on stage than risk being quieted by another man who thought being in charge was the same as being good at music. Linda stopped trusting duets like the one she was supposed to do with Paul because she did not want to go through that. Number 2, Don Henley, the student who learned from her and then went against Don Henley. This one still hurts because Linda did not just know Don Henley, she actually helped make Don Henley a star before Don Henley and the Eagles became really famous. Don Henley was the guy who played the drums for Linda Ronstadt, and he was happy to be in her shadow. Linda Ronstadt gave Don Henley his big chance. She introduced Don Henley to the right people, and she even let Don Henley sing backup when Linda Ronstadt went on tour. Linda felt really bad about what happened. She thought the Eagles did her wrong. Linda said some things about him in interviews. She said he was someone who only cared about being famous. He lost himself in the process. Linda really meant what she said about the Eagles. When the song Hotel California became popular, Linda did not want to go to any events that had to do with the Eagles. The Eagles was a part of her life before, but not anymore. Years went by. One of the members of the Eagles, Henley, wanted to make things right with Linda through some friends they had in common. Linda did not want to talk to him or make up. She still did not want anything to do with the Eagles. To her, Don Henley was not the drummer who became famous. Don Henley was the friend who turned on the people who helped him. She saw Don Henley as someone who did not appreciate the hand that gave him a chance. Don Henley bit the hand that lifted him up. Number 3, Neil Young. This is the story of how protest music became personal for Neil Young. You would not expect Linda Ronstadt and Neil Young to ever have a fight. They seemed like they had a lot in common, like they were friends or something. Linda Ronstadt and Neil Young were both people who liked to do things their way, and they both wanted everything to be just right. What started as something Linda Ronstadt and Neil Young both cared about ended with them being very upset and not speaking to each other for a very long time. Something big happened in 1976 at a concert to help farm workers in California. Linda joined this concert because she really cared about the farm workers. Neil was already at the concert. He was being very loud, telling everyone what to do during the rehearsals, like he was in charge of everything. The concert was to help the farm workers in California, and Linda was happy to be a part of it. Neil was being very bossy. That was just Neil being Neil at the concert for the farm workers in California. At first, she really liked how intense Neil was. Then that intensity was directed at her. When they were getting ready to play, she said they should change the order of the songs so it would sound better. Neil did not like that idea and told her no in front of everyone. He said, "You are not built for protest," in a blunt way, and then he just walked away to tune his guitar. She was talking about the songs, and Neil shut her down. Number 4, Jim Morrison. Of all the men on Linda Ronstadt's silent blacklist, Jim Morrison might be the wildest story of them all. The night Linda met him, she was not looking for trouble. Trouble found Linda. It was 1968 in Los Angeles, a hot summer, and the air was all foggy on Sunset Boulevard. The Doors were like the deal in the music scene, and Linda was still trying to make a name for herself as a young artist. She went to an after-party near the Whiskey A Go Go because she wanted to meet people. The Whiskey A Go Go after-party was the place to be. When Jim Morrison saw her, things got bad fast. Jim Morrison had already had a lot of drinks, his shirt was. He was walking around like he owned the place, the Whiskey A Go Go after-party. He was playing music on stage when he saw Linda standing there. He called out to her. She came up thinking it was just a joke. Then this guy did something that really surprised her. He grabbed Linda around the waist, tried to kiss her right in front of all the people watching. He was still playing music and laughing. Linda did not think it was funny. Linda pushed him away hard. He fell into the microphone stand and it fell down on the floor. People started laughing in a way, then it got quiet. Linda left away. She was so embarrassed and angry. Number 5. Frank Zappa was a smart guy, but then he became very mean. If you ask Linda Ronstadt's bandmates about the one fight that still makes them nervous, they will tell you about the day Linda Ronstadt walked out on Frank Zappa. This was supposed to be a thing for Linda Ronstadt. It turned out to be one of the worst music sessions Linda Ronstadt ever had. This all went down in 1974 at a studio in Hollywood. Frank Zappa was trying out some stuff. Linda showed up ready to go. She was a bit anxious too. She really liked the way Zappa thought outside the box. It did not take long for her to figure out what she had gotten herself into. Zappa was an act to follow, and Linda was about to find out what that really meant. Friends who knew her after that said she was really upset. She stayed calm. She thought he was very smart. He was also very mean, and she did not like that. He thought being mean was being honest. That is not true. The music they made together was never. They were not friends anymore. A time later, when people asked her about Zappa, she would smile a little and say, "I learned that not every smart person like Zappa deserves people to listen to them." This shows that Zappa still hurt her feelings. Number 6. David Crosby and the friends he had in the canyon. These friendships did not last. They actually ended badly. David Crosby had a lot of friends in the canyon. It seems that things did not work out for him and these people. The friendships that David Crosby had just fell apart. Some betrayals hurt worse than insults, especially when they come from someone you once called family. That is what happened between Linda Ronstadt and David Crosby. Back in the days when Laurel Canyon was really popular, they were close friends. David Crosby thought Linda Ronstadt had a voice. Linda Ronstadt liked the way David Crosby sang harmonies with her. Their friendship felt like it would last forever until it did not. Linda Ronstadt and David Crosby were inseparable. That all changed. This woman was about being real. The word he used was like a knife to her. She did not say anything back to him in public. She got her revenge in a quiet way that lasted forever. From that day on, the woman made sure that his name was never spoken in the group of people she trusted. She even took his music off the lists of songs they played on tour. The woman told the people in her band, "Do not mention his name." The woman meant it. She did not want to hear his name, not one time. Number 7. Elvis Costello. Elvis Costello is a musician who was known for being a bit of a rebel. He was part of the punk music scene. People thought he went too far with his actions and the things he said. Elvis Costello did things his way, and that is what made him so interesting to listen to and watch. Elvis Costello was not afraid to speak his mind and do what he wanted, even if that meant going against what other people thought he should do. People thought Linda would say something back to him in public. She did not do that. Linda just said that the person is smart. He is empty inside, like someone who wants to be different just to be different, not because he really cares about anything. The thing Linda said about him stuck with him for a long time. People remembered that Linda said he is a rebel, without a heart, and that is what people thought of him. What is worse, Costello later admitted that he had been drunk that night, calling the night one of his moments. The damage was done by then. Linda never forgave Costello. She once said that arrogance is easy when Costello had never been tested, and this really affected Costello. Linda felt that Costello was arrogant because he had never been in a situation like that before. For the rest of her career, she said no to every invitation that had anything to do with him. Sometimes his songs would come on the radio. She would immediately switch to a different station without saying a thing about it. She just did not want to hear his music or have anything to do with him. There are 7 names that I think about. Each of these names is connected to a betrayal. There is one woman who did not want to keep quiet about what happened to her. Which of these stories shocked you the most? Do you think Linda was right to cut them off for good? Tell us in the comments. Hit like if this story surprised you, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold Hollywood truths.